What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Just Podding Around, where the ring ropes are tight, the steel chairs are loaded, and the opinions hit harder than a Lesnar clothesline. I'm your host, Race, and today we're diving into one of the most exciting concepts WWE's ever cooked up: the Money in the Bank cash-in. Now, for the uninitiated, or those who've been living under a kayfabe rock, the Money in the Bank ladder match was introduced in 2005. The deal's simple. Climb a ladder, grab the briefcase, and inside is a contract you can cash in anytime, any place for a world title shot. It turned mid-carders into main eventers, heroes into villains, and made us all side-eye every superstar holding a briefcase like they're about to rob a bank. Today, we're counting down the top 10 best Money in the Bank cash-ins in WWE history, with a couple of cheeky honourable mentions to kick us off. So grab a snack, get comfy, and let's relive some absolute bangers. Alright, before we jump into the main list, let's pour one out for these cash-ins that didn't quite crack the top 10, but still slapped in their own right. First up, we got Carmella in 2018. Now, this was classic WWE shenanigans. She won the briefcase in controversial fashion. Shout out to James Ellsworth for being an absolute menace. And waited months for the perfect moment. That came when Charlotte Flair was left wrecked after an iconic beatdown. Carmella's sneaky cash-in wasn't so much shocking as it was textbook heel behaviour. But it turned her into a major villain and kicked off a fun little title run. Not bad for Staten Island's finest. Next up, we got Kane in 2010. This one made history for being the first ever same night cash-in. After Rey Mysterio survived a brutal match with Jack Swagger, Kane stormed out, chokeslammed Rey into next week, and walked out as World Heavyweight Champion. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't drawn out, but it was pure Kane. Effective, terrifying, and left fans wondering if it'd start setting folks on fire again. And finally, Bayley in 2019. She won the briefcase that night, and when Charlotte Flair dethroned Becky Lynch, thanks to some Lacey Evans interference, Bayley swooped in like the ultimate underdog turned hero. The crowd went nuts. It felt like a genuine, finally it's her time moment, and it gave the women's division a feel-good highlight when it needed one. Okay, now kicking off the list at number 10 is a woman who plays the heel role better than most, Alexa Bliss. On the same night she won the briefcase, Bliss wasn't content with just posing with it. Oh no. During the Raw Women's title match between Nia Jax and Ronda Rousey, Bliss did what any opportunistic heel would do. She beat both of them down with the briefcase. The crowd was furious. Ronda was foaming at the mouth, and Alexa walked out as champion. It was ruthless, it was messy, and it completely flipped the women's division on its head. Say what you will about WWE booking at the time, but this was vintage Bliss. Sneaky, cunning, and utterly detestable. Number 9. And oh man, what a night this was. After Seth Rollins dethroned Roman Reigns to the WWE title, the crowd was still catching its breath. And then Ambrose's music hit. Dean, briefcase in hand, blindsided Rollins with it, cashed in, hit Dirty Deeds, and pinned him to become world champion. The real magic here? All three Shield members held the WWE Championship in one single night. That's the kind of chaos only wrestling can deliver. It was unhinged, unpredictable, and it felt like a reward for Ambrose's years of being the wild card lunatic. Coming in at number 8, Big E, the human ray of sunshine. Unlike most cash-ins, Big E straight up told everyone he was going to do it. Hey guys, I'm cashing in on Raw tonight. Bold move, and you know what? It worked. After Bobby Lashley survived the war against Randy Orton, Big E stormed the ring, nailed a big ending, and finally captured the WWE Championship. It wasn't just a title win, it was an emotional moment for fans who'd been with Big E since his NXT days. The New Day hit the ring, the crowd lost its collective mind, and for once, WWE gave us a payoff that felt as good as it looked. At lucky number 7, Mr. Pay-Per-View himself, Rob Van Dam. Now, RVD broke Money in the Bank tradition by actually announcing his cash-in ahead of time. Bold strategy, cotton. But it paid off. At ECW One Night Stand, with a rabid, bloodthirsty ECW crowd to riot, RVD took on John Cena. The fans threw Cena's merch back at him, booed every move he made, and practically willed RVD to victory. And thanks to a little assist from Edge and classic ECW chaos, RVD pinned Cena to become WWE Champion. That New York crowd could have powered the city grid with the energy they had that night. At number 6, The Miz, the man everybody loves to hate. After the Nexus faction softened up Randy Orton, The Miz cashed in. But it wasn't a squash. Orton actually came close to pulling it out, and for a moment you thought, oh no, Miz is about to fumble this. But he didn't. He hit the skull-crushing finale, pinned Orton, and secured the biggest moment of his career. The crowd reaction? A beautiful mess of boos and gasps. This cash-in cemented Miz as a main event heel and showed that sometimes the smarmy loudmouth actually backs up the talk. And introduced us to the angry Miz girl. That girl with the angry scowl on her face after the cash-in. Sliding into number 5, Randy Orton. Doing what Randy Orton does best, ruin people's dreams. After Daniel Bryan beat John Cena in a feel-good fairy tale moment, Triple H, the special guest referee, blindsided Bryan with a pedigree. Cue Orton's music. The Viper slithered down, cashed in, and took the title, crushing the yes moment before it could really begin. This wasn't just a cash-in, it was the spark that lit the Authority versus Daniel Bryan storyline, leading to one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time. At number 4, the straight-edge savior, CM Punk. After Jeff Hardy barely survived a grueling ladder match against Edge, Punk's music hit. The fans were torn. They loved Punk, but Jeff was their guy. Punk hit 2 GTSs and pinned Hardy and walked out champion, starting his turn toward the dark side. It was quick, it was shocking, and it marked the beginning of one of Punk's most interesting character evolutions. At number 3, a moment so loud you'd think the roof was about to cave in. Alberto Del Rio was limping, selling a leg injury, and the crowd was practically begging for Dolph Ziggler's music to hit. When it did, absolute bedlam. Ziggler sprinted down, cashed in, and after a couple of close falls, finally hit the zigzag for the win. The pop was nuclear. It's one of those moments where the reaction elevated the whole thing into legend status. Runner-up spot goes to the rated R superstar Edge. After John Cena survived an Elimination Chamber match, looking like he'd just done a 10-round fight with Mike Tyson, Vince McMahon casually walked out and dropped the bomb. Edge was cashing in. 2 spears later, and the history was made. It was the first ever cash-in, and it set the standard moving forward. Edge instantly became a main eventer and launched what would become a Hall of Fame career. And finally, at number 1, the greatest Money in the Bank cash-in of all time belongs to Seth Rollins, no debate. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns were brutalizing each other in the Mania main event when Seth's music hit. The crowd lost its mind. Rollins turned the match into a triple threat, curb-stomped Roman, and pinned him for the win. It was shocking, flawless, and perfectly timed storytelling. WWE's version of the highest movie ending, Chef's Kiss. Money in the Bank is at its best when it's unpredictable, chaotic, and tells a story. These 10 cash-ins weren't just about titles, they were about moments. Moments that made us jump off the couch, scream at our screens, and remind us why we still love this ridiculous, wonderful business. WWE, if you're listening, take notes. That briefcase is a license to print money, if you use it right. Alright everyone, that's it for today. If you liked this episode, drop a review, follow the pod, and I'll catch you next time on Just Podding Around.